how you can and can't do it. I'm ready to start whenever you brothers ready to start. Well, she said that, she said you can't use the scriptures with scriptures. So you can't use their information with their, in other words, you can't let the Jews explain what the Jews are saying.
She said you need to use science. What historian uses science?
Right. Talking about it just don't make sense, and people just sitting there eating it up. They sitting there like, yeah.
I bet a lot of those things is really smart.
Hey man, she said a lot, man. You really gotta prove that.
Yeah.
So you don't let the society explain what they mean. You let somebody else, thousands of years away from the society, explain what it means. Come on, man. That's why they're having an argument right now. That's why. Because of that thinking. That same thinking is why they all confused. But I'm ready, boss, whenever y'all ready.
Alright, let's get it. I'm on Facebook spreading that we on here now.
Alright, I'm on Facebook Live, so they're gonna be able to hear everything too.
Alright, that's what's up.
But yeah. I'm ready, boss, whenever y'all. Yeah, there you go. Look, man, I'll be sounding all country and everything else, man. I'll be sounding country like a mug. Y'all ignore my background Facebook.
100%.
Y'all ignore what I got going on in the background, because this is just how my room looks, so you gotta deal with it.
Hi
All
guys, welcome.
right, so boss, you gonna mute the lady?
Oh yeah.
What she said was, you gotta watch Harry Potter to understand what the Bible's talking about. Everybody in my community knows that. If it ain't in Harry Potter, it's in the Lord of the Rings. Everybody know that. I don't know why you Christians are thinking something different. And then here come the rest of them. Well, only black people understand because they don't eat shrimp. Like what? Dude, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? And then you got the other brothers, yeah, because in Egypt, because they knew in Egypt, right? You got this one person, right? And that person actually represented an element of nature, right? So when it was really talking about Moak or whatever he's talking about, it was really talking about the breeze blowing at 45-degree angle, and as it hit your eyeballs dry out, right? And you cry, and that cry feels like burning, and that's the sun. And they call that son Jesus Christ. Like, dude, what are y'all doing? Oh man, what are they doing in there, man? Everybody's so deep and don't understand nothing.
Yeah. I like the way that first brother too. He used like a real calming voice.
Mm-hmm. Sound like quiet storm when it used to come on. You remember when quiet storm used to come on? That's what he sound like. Yeah. Let me slow it down for the room. Yeah. You see the breezes and the elements of the ants. See, it's all telling a deeper story, and that's how the Bible got their story. See, Daniel, think about it. Dan-I-L, L, hell, hell, smell. Get it? It's your nostrils. Man, don't make me start a whole nother channel.
You could, bro. That is your calling right there, bro. up, man.
I know the truth. I know the truth for real. And don't ask me why you get thirsty and hungry. The Bible stole all that. People was getting thirsty and hungry before the Bible was even written. So what are they? The Bible is stealing stuff.
Oh my God.
Man, what you? Yeah. So go ahead, my brother.
I used to like have back and forth about this all the time. Then when they bring up the what is Krishna? Yeah, Jesus came from Krishna or some other Greek god or whatever. I can't do it no more. I can't. I don't even waste my time.
But they don't even use the common. They don't even use the common sense part about it. Hey, check this. This is the common sense part about it. If we take the Bible story and look how Moses presented it, he presented it that everyone came from Noah. So he had Adam first, but then all of them died off, and Noah was the one that was supposed to repopulate the earth. So by default, if all understanding came from Noah, all people got to have similar stories because their stories came from one source. So it would make sense if they want to use their effort why Krishna from the Greeks would resemble Christ, because they already knew that a savior figure like that was going to come, and they would have had the story from one source, and people do what people do, they remix it. So that would be the remix. So none of it really works the way that they present it. It never will work. They can never make it false. The only way that they can make it false, they gotta impose a lot of stuff and go back to science, because the Bible is not meant to be taken as a literal device, and that's why they try to defeat it with science.
But
and that's what and that's the crazy part, because that's what the Hebrew Israelites do. They entwine a lot of science in the belief system. That's why they think aliens is coming. That's why they say that the virgin birth isn't true. Like, because they're trying to use literal science for things that is normal, right? That our world has its basis off of. When the whole purpose of divinity is to show how it defies all that. You know what I'm saying? The true proof of true divinity is that it defies natural nature. Like, so if we say this all the time. And this is one of my favorite things. So if you believe in the Almighty God, right, the Most High, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, right, Allah, whatever it is, right. So you got this energy force that everything was shaped and molded and created by or from, and then it sends its child or itself or whatever you want to believe to save you, right? And when it does send itself to save you, it needs a spaceship. like, what did you just do to the story? What did you just do to your whole belief system, bro? Like, your own literal belief system. What did you just do to it?
He created. He knew how to create everything, but he just don't have the travel down just yet.
He can't figured out how to just appear.
Right.
Like, I mean, he made everything else just appear.
Right.
He can't make himself or his son returning appear.
I just can't get that one. He's in there like, I just can't get that travel thing down. I just can't get that travel thing down. You know what it probably was? He probably wrote it down, you know what I mean, and got drunk and lost it, and they can't remember how to do it. I created oxygen, but I just don't know how to move through it. Right. Stop doing stuff like that. You just make me cry. Yeah, I complex myself. All this oxygen. But hey, y'all, I'm ready. I'm in Daniel whenever y'all ready to start.
Yeah.
Hold on, is it Daniel? Yeah, it's Daniel 7, ain't it? Is it Daniel 7?
Back in a second. I'm gonna run. You know, I'm gonna run to the. I'm about to go see my boy John real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, then. Well, I guess it's just me and you, Mike. You ready to start?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
All right.
So the point I really wanted to hit on, you know, I think it's 8, right? A lot of people apply that to what is it? What's the dude?
Antiochus. Yeah, Epiphanes.
Antiochus,
Yeah, Epiphanes.
Yeah, Antiochus Epiphanes. So how will we combat that? I mean, I see later on it's clearly right after that it says that, you know, this vision pertains to the time of the end. So how could they come up with Antiochus?
See, now, what I want to do, because finding out who this is historically, I'm going to let Brother Daryl handle that, because I'm not going to go through those Josephus and try to find out who that is. But what I want to do, I want to do process of elimination, if we can do that.
Okay, got you.
So now, this is the first problem that we have with that being Antiochus Epiphanes. Daniel 7:7 says, "After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with it with its feet. And it was diverse from all the other beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up another little horn, before whom there was 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were the eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things." So we got that horn coming up under the fourth beast, right?
Yeah.
So now, this will be the problem. All right, so now we're going to keep up the fourth beast, right? So if this is Antiochus Epiphanes, this fourth beast would have to be Greek, the Grecians. Verse 9, right?
Okay.
"I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair on his head like the pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire." So this is happening under the fourth beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, verse 10. "A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 still before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened." So this is doing the fourth beast, right?
Okay.
So now, look, verse 11. So that's the judgment right there. That's the great judgment.
The books, yeah.
So we know the great judgment didn't happen during the Grecians. We know that.
Yeah.
But hold on, we're gonna get a even clearer point on verse 13. So verse 11. "I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake." So we got the horn going right there. Now notice, the horn is speaking during the judgment. So a judgment is occurring, the books are being opened, and this horn is speaking also. So all of this is happening all together. Something has happened heavenly, something has happened earthly. So now, "I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame." So during this judgment, the beast is destroyed. So this is the destruction of the beast, right? In verse 12, "As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives was prolonged for a season and a time." Now verse 13 tells you the time period when all this happened. "I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him." Where does that vision start at? Because that's not the start of the vision right there. That's the end of the vision. Do you know where the vision starts at? Now, let me read it again. "I saw in the night's vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him." So where did that vision start at? And think New Testament. Think New Testament.
Read it again slowly.
Yeah. Brother, I just read it. And just for clarification, let me read it for the third time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came into the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
Yeah, that's Revelation. That's
You thinking too far back. Think closer. Read Acts 1 and 9.
turn to it.
Read it out loud.
Hey, Britt, you on?
1 and 9. All right.
Yes, I'm here. I just gotta adjust my microphone.
Okay.
Acts 1, verse 9.
Yes, sir.
And after he had said these things, he was lifted up while they were looking. Oh, okay, got you. And after he said these things, he was lifted up while they were looking on, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
So now, that's verse 9. The cloud received him out of their sight. And then where did he go? That's Daniel 7 and 13. This is the end of the vision.
And as they were gazing intently into the sky, while he was departing, behold, 2 men in white clothing.
Hold on, my brother. I want you to read 9 and stop at 9, and I'm going to finish the vision. I'm going to finish the vision.
Okay.
So stop at 9.
All right, so, and after he said these things, he was lifted up while they were looking on him, and the cloud received him out of their sight.
I saw,
Back to Daniel.
yeah, and I saw in the night vision, behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came into the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. So Daniel saw the end vision. The disciples saw the beginning of the vision. And this is why, I believe Acts 1 and 9 is a vision. Because Daniel 7 and 13 is a vision. And Daniel 7:13 is the ending of Acts 1 and 9. So I don't think that Acts 1 and 9 would be literal and then it went to a vision. I think it's all a vision.
Yeah. Okay.
So if this happened when Christ was on the scene, so Daniel 7 and 13 got to be when Christ was on the scene. So if Daniel 7 and 13 got to be when Christ is on the scene, Daniel 7 and 8, when the great horn was speaking, has to be either when Christ was on the scene or in Christ's generation.
7 and 8. Okay, now
Hey, Queen.
with Acts, right?
Uh-huh.
It's several people there.
Uh-huh.
Am I right?
Right.
So then who would be communicating this vision if it's several people there?
In Acts 1 and 9?
Yeah.
Verse 11. And which also they said, verse 10. And while they looked up steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel. So I believe that they're seeing the vision, and the angels actually clarify that it's a vision. And Luke, who uses testimonies, is actually just telling the testimony of what happened. Because we know Luke wasn't there anyway. So
Yeah.
Luke will be getting the testimony from them.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So this is how the little horn can't be Antiochus Epiphanes, because he wasn't around during the time of Christ.
Gotcha.
So whoever this little horn is, he have to be around the same generation that Christ was on the scene.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Sorry I'm late. How y'all doing?
What's going on?
And Miss Brittany. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Shalom, shalom. And I wanna build a little bit more on this little horn, right? So this little horn, what he did was, let me see what he did right here. We're gonna go to Daniel 7:21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. Right? So if we go to can you go to hold on, let me find it real fast. Daniel, can you go to Revelation 13 and 7? Well, hold on. You can go to Revelation 13 and 5 first, and read down to verse 7.
And there was given to him a mouth speaking arrogant words and blasphemies, and authority to act for 42 months was given to him. And he opened his mouth in blasphemies against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, that is, those who dwell in heaven. And it was given to him to make war with saints and to overcome them, and authority over every tribe and people and tongue and nation was given to him.
So would that not be the same thing as Daniel 7 and 21? The same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them.
Yeah.
So this is the same time period. So now we know that this horn come out of verse 13 and 1. I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. Okay, so we got a beast coming out of the sea, right? And now usually the sea represents Gentile nations. So whoever this beast is going to be a power. It's going to be a Gentile power, and this beast is going to actually be able to persecute the saints. So now, what I get with this, now this is just me. Others might feel different, but I get this dealing with the Caesars, mainly Nero, because Nero was the one who started persecuting the Christians out of the Gentiles, because Israel was the Christians was going through like 2 persecutions at the same time. They was getting persecuted by the Jews, and then they was getting persecuted by the Romans too. So that had to be found somewhere in scriptures where the Jews are persecuting them as well as the Romans, because Nero waged war against the Christians. Now we can find that in history. So what is everybody thinking? Especially when, hold on, let me formulate this real fast, and then I'll turn it over. Especially when you go in verse number 15. Well, 14. And deceived them that dwell on earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And the image of the beast should both speak, and cause as many that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, where is he pulling that imagery from? Revelation 13 and 15. Where is he pulling that imagery from?
He's pulling it. It's got to be from Daniel 7, correct?
The imagery of them not worshiping the image, and if they don't worship the image, they should be put to death. Where did he pull that imagery from?
That's Daniel 2 from the Babylonian kingdom.
Bingo. That's Daniel 2 dealing with was it King Nebuchadnezzar?
King Nebuchadnezzar, correct.
Which shows you once again how Israel is mystery Babylon, because they're going through the same thing that Babylon went through. But anyway, that's a different story. So now, and King Nebuchadnezzar was a Gentile ruler. He was a Gentile power.
Yeah.
So now they're pulling imagery from one Gentile power, dealing with another Gentile power. And the imagery is so strong where they use, like, for instance, the number 666, right? And I think the weight of that gold used for the image, wasn't it 66? Anybody?
I think it was. I think it was 66. Yeah.
And so that will be a playoff for that. And then on top of that, the gold that Solomon got, either he got from the Queen of Sheba or was given to the Queen of Sheba, was 666 in unit. Dealing with money, dealing with the ability to buy and sell and trade, mainly dealing with gold. The same gold that was weighed by in Nebuchadnezzar's day, with the statue being 66. So I think they're pulling all this imagery to show that what happened then is being fulfilled now through the fourth beast. So this is pretty much showing that this is dealing with a power of the fourth beast, which would be the Caesars. Hopefully I formulated that correctly. And then when the people get a hold of 666 anyway, they said that's it represents Nero Caesar anyway, which would be the same thing.
Now, isn't there also two other antichrists? As well.
Well, John said it was many antichrists.
Yeah, many antichrists, but there seems to be like three main ones being represented in Revelation.
All right, can we go to?
I'm trying to elaborate on it now, but you want to say that?
Okay. And Demetrius or Brittany or Boss, if anybody want to come in, please do.
Brittany, you want to say anything?
I will. One second.
Okay. So I just want to ask a question, Elvin. So your and I know I came in late. So the basic premise of who the little horn is and the Antichrist is who?
Who I think the Antichrist was?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And the little horn.
Okay, I think that this is Nero. But the reason why I actually got that, besides of what he did, there's a apocalypse of Isaiah. And the apocalypse of Isaiah created during the end of the first century, beginning of the second century, by the Christians. They put the Antichrist as Nero also.
Okay. All right. Well, let me and that might be correct, but I'm just gonna give you my analogy of the Antichrist and and the little horn. If you read Daniel 7, when it talks about the little horn, it states that the little horn has come up from among the other 10 horns. Okay? And it goes back to Daniel chapter 2. All right? When you have the four nations, the head, the chest plates, I think it's the waist and thighs, and then you have the feet that's mixed with pottery clay. Okay? And if you, what I interpret of the pottery clay has been with all those nations, regardless. And even with the little horn has come up from among those nations. Let me find it real quick. It's Daniel chapter 7. I'm driving right now. You got to work with me. Hold on. One second. And and I may be wrong, so you just kind of give me a little minute.
Yeah, this is think tank, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Okay, yeah. If you go to number 7, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, exceedingly strong. It had huge iron teeth. It was devouring, breaking in pieces, and trampling the residue with its feet. It was different from all the other beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And I was considering the horns, and there was another horn, a little one, coming up among them, before whom 3 of the first horns were plucked out by the roots. And there in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking prosperous words. Okay. And if you continue to read through 9, now watch till the thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was a fiery flame. Its wheels a burning fire. A fiery steam issued and came forth before him. Thousands ministered to him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court were seated, and the books were open. Okay. Let me keep reading. I watched then, because of the sound of the trumpets of words which the horn was speaking. I watched till the beast was slain, and its body destroyed and given to the burning flame. As for the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away. Yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I was watching in the night visions, as behold, one like the Son of Man, coming with clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days. My rendering to he came to the Ancient of Days is he came as the Ancient of Days. And they brought him near before him. Into him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom. Okay. So if we go back and we look at when we start at verse 7, we know who the fourth beast is. We know the fourth beast is Rome. And I don't deny that Rome gave homage to the Jews to persecute the Christians. Okay? Paul was one of those people. But what my understanding as the little horn is, the little horn was always among these 4 nations. in which it was Israel. Israel was with the Babylonian kingdom. They were with the Medes and Persians. They were with the Grecians, and they were with the Romans. So that little horn was with them the whole time. And if we go to Acts 15, we can see how the Jews tried to stir up the Thessalonian Christians. And I think they were the ones that was persecuting the church. And Rome gave them homage to do that. So by the little horn being the Jews, in my view, they being the Jews, they were the ones. If you continue to read, and it talks about how Daniel 7 and 9, it talks about the Ancient of Days. That is Revelation chapter 1. That is, I think it's 1 and 7 when it talks about him being in, his garment is white as snow, and his hair on his head was pure like wool. That's Revelation chapter 1. And we know what Revelation is about. That is the destruction of Jerusalem. So that little horn was the ones persecuting the church. And even though Rome was a part of it, I think that the little horn is Jerusalem. And when you talk about also with the Antichrist, 1 John, let me get it real quick. 1 John, I think it's 1 John 3, where he says that the Antichrist is the ones that do things against Christ, and that is not of God. Let's see, hold on, give me 1 second.
Do you got the little horn as being the Antichrist?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I think they are one and the same.
Okay.
It's like they're the Sadducees and Pharisees, you know what I mean, stuff like that. They were the Antichrist. That's why they persecuted them. That's why they did all the things they did to the Christians. You know what I mean? So that's who they were. I was kind of getting that same feel from the read. It's like it kind of fit the description. Like what was we just reading a few minutes ago? It was like giving I think it was in Daniel. It was basically giving the vision of Titus and them about to come do it. The same stuff we read in Matthew 24, Luke 21. It's kind of giving that whole vision of it's going down. But it had the when it was describing the Antichrist or whatever the case may be at that time, it made it seem like the people that was among them, people that was brought up with them, and that's what it made me. That's why it's the 10 little horn too, right? Because there was a smaller nation than all the other bigger nations around them too. You know, that's just trying to like take some of it literal, right, and make it make sense, right?
Yeah,
so
but
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think now, like I said, I think that the 10 horns is the Roman Empire, but the little horn, it says 3 horns fell, so I think that that's the Babylonian, Medes, Persians, and Grecian kingdom, and I think if you go back and look at the history of the Roman Empire, I think you will see the 10. Let me see. I think I'm saying it right. You will see the 10 kings that ruled, and Nero comes in. He falls into that aspect, but that little horn was among that nation because Rome ruled over Jerusalem, and the Jews got their power to persecute the Christians from the Roman Empire. And let's see, in 1 John chapter 2 and verse 18, he said, "Little children, it is the last hour, as you have heard that the Antichrist is coming. Even now, meaning Antichrist, have come, by which we know that it is the last hour. They went in and out among us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that none of them were of us." And I think that Thessalonians chapter, one second, hold on. I think it's Second give me one second. 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1, where it talks about the Christ. Talks about Christ coming and shining bright. Give me one second. Hold on, I'm driving. Give me one second. About giving us to the truth. But you know that. Hold on. Give me one second. Okay. Now, brethren, concerning the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and the gathering together to him, we ask you not to be soon shaken in mind or troubled, either by spirit or by word or by letter, as from us, as though the day of the Lord had come. Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, of that is worship, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So to end, my take on the little horn and the Antichrist is the Jews and pretty much the priest of the Jews. So that would be my response to that. So, but like I said, I agree with Elvin about Rome being, partakers in that. So that would be my stance on that.
I got some things that I found what I was talking about. If you guys want to hear it.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Brittany, you got something to say? You good? Or go ahead and say what you gonna say.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in right after him. I got baby girl still up.
Okay.
All right, so so I think we all are in agreement that so Daniel 7:7, right? Or Daniel 7:7. The 10 horns. So I think we agree that that's wrong, right?
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. So And we're agreement that is Revelation 13. That's the same beast that he saw in Daniel 7 and 7. Are we in agreement with that one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with you.
All right, so we're good. All right, so now, all right, so we got that being Rome, and then we got so that beast right there would be Rome, right? And then we got a dragon. But I'm just gonna read over Revelation 13. I'm gonna skip. We had and power was given into life of the image, and he caused all small, great, and rich and poor to receive a mark on their forehead and all that stuff. So we have that the beast that they saw was a leopard, bear, and lion. Then the beast in Daniel, all of pretty much the Roman Empire. And he saw one of the heads as it was wounded, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So now, my question before I give my breakdown, and I guess this will be for Brother Demetrius, in Revelation 13 and 3, when the head was wounded, is that when one of the horns came up from the three horns, or would you put that somewhere else?
I would put it somewhere else.
Okay.
Because and that's just me, because the beast is about to die at that point. So, I mean, I may be wrong because he's wounded. And when Christ was on the scene, he said I think it was in John, that the father of this age. So I think that's where the wounded is. And like I said, I'm just speculating right now.
No, you good, because this breakdown that I'm finna give is actually finna it's finna actually hit on that too.
Okay, all right, let's go.
All right, so the father of that age would have been the unrighteous one, sort of like I don't want to say a devil figure, but sort of like a devil figure. All right, so this is the breakdown that they gave back then. So now it says this is Ascension of Isaiah, and this is 4, and it says, and now Hezekiah and Josiah, my son, these are the days of the completion of the world or age. So now this is supposed to be, he's supposed to give them the breakdown when the age comes to completion, and we all know that's math according to the regular what we got. That would be the end of the age in Matthew 24, as well as what Revelation is talking about when the age comes to a completion. So now he says, after it is consummated, Belair, the great ruler, the king of this world. So that's what you were just talking about, Brother Demetrius, the king of the world, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it says Beliar, the great ruler, the king of this world, will descend, who hath ruled since it came into being. Yea, he will descend from his firmament in the likeness of a man, a lawless king, the slayer of his mother. Now we know Nero was the one who killed his mother. Nero was the slayer of his own mother. So this is what it's going to say right here. Who himself, even this king, will persecute the plant which the 12 apostles of the beloved have planted. Of the 12, one will be delivered unto his hands. This ruler, in the form of that king, will come, and there will come with him all the powers of this world, and they will hearken unto him and all that he desired. And all at his word, the sun will rise at night, and he will make the moon to appear at the 6th hour. So that's the Antichrist doing signs and wonders right there. And they're saying that this is Nero. So now I'm gonna keep reading. And all that he had desired, he will do in the world. And he will speak like the beloved, and he will say, I am God, and before me there is none. And all the people in the world will believe in him. So this is Nero saying that he is God. He's a God man. And they will sacrifice to him, and they will serve him, saying, this is God, and beside him there is no other. And the greater number of those who shall have been associated together in order to receive the beloved, he will turn aside after them. So now, this is the apostate. They said, many, the apostate will happen first, and he will turn many in righteousness away. So these are the people right here that says, the rich and the poor and all of them, they're turning from Christ into Nero now. So now, this is what it says right here. And there will be the power of his miracles in every city and region. And he will set up his image before him in every city. And he shall bear sway 3 years and 7 months and 27 days. And many believers and saints, having seen him for whom they were hoping, who was crucified, Jesus the Lord Christ, after that Isaiah had seen him who was crucified and ascended. And I'm just going to read this. And those also who were believers in him, of these few in those days, will be left as his servants, while they flee from desert to desert. So that's them fleeing into the mountain, awaiting the coming of the beloved. So now, I want to tie that in with a little history real fast. And I know I don't really do the history thing, but I want to give the what happened during the days of Nero, so we can actually see. Because in Revelation 13 and 15, we know that the head was healed. I mean, the head was wounded. And then the head was healed. And then we end up with this. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So here in the ascension also of Isaiah, it said that he had many images in different cities. But we know that his head was wounded. So he was wounded, and somehow he came back to life. And then him coming back to life, he was able to put images in every city. So now, this is the history to tell actually how it happened. This is History of Tacticus, the complete works of Tacticus, History 1, starting at 78, section 78. It says, by similar bounty, Otho sought to win the affections of the cities and provinces. He bestowed on the colonies of Hispalis and Emeritha some additional families, on the entire people of the Lingos, the privilege of the Roman citizens, the privileges of Roman citizenship. To the province of Bithynia, he joined the states of Mauritania and granted to Cappadocia and Africa new rights, more for display than for permanent utility. In the midst of these measures, which may found an excuse in the urgency of the crisis and the anxieties which pressed upon him, he still did not forget his old armors, and by a decree of the Senate restored the statues of Pompeia. It is even believed that he thought of celebrating the memory of Nero in the hope of winning the populace, and persons were found to exhibit statues of that prince. There were days on which the people and the soldiers greeted him with shouts of Nero Otho, and as they were heaping on him new distinction and honor, Otho himself wavered in suspense, afraid to forbid or ashamed to acknowledge the title. So in other words, when Otho was one of those 4 kings that came, the 4 Caesars that came in after Nero, that little time period around like 69 to 70 AD, those 4 Caesars that came in. Otho was the one, and during his reign, he had them start putting up statues of Nero all through the Roman provinces. and they start referring to him as Nero. So we have, if we want to line it up, what it looks like to me. Now this is just to me. What it looks like to me is that when the head was when it was wounded, that would be Nero dying. But then the head being brought back or surviving the wound, that would be Otho taking over as Nero. So now we got Nero being revived, and Otho is putting images of Nero throughout all of Roman provinces. So now you got Nero, you got the Roman Empire reviving under the understanding of Nero again, and you got the images set up where they have to do sacrifices to him. And at the same time, Nero was already known for persecuting the church also. So, so to me, that would be how it lines up with the historical account of what was going on around that 69, 70 AD thing in history. But this will be my question. Where, if this is not Nero right here, right? Where would the acts of Nero be found in the book of Revelation when he was in power and he was the one in Rome in power that persecuted the church? Where would his actions be at? Because he was an actual persecutor, and he did try to get them to refer to him as God. So where was his where do you think his actions will be at?
I would think now. I don't know. Now I think Josephus accounts for this. I don't know. This is just what I heard. I'm telling you what I heard.
Okay.
I'm not quoting this, but I think Josephus accounts to the point that when you go back to Thessalonians 2, when Paul talks about how he hasn't been revealed, I think it's the priest that was assassinated, and the Romans put one of their priests in the temple. And I would have to go back and check this out, but like I said, I heard about it.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, that kind of makes sense with Nero, and it kind of lines up with what you said about Nero being having statues around. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
for
what,
him to be claimed as God.
So do you think that'll be a part of Romans 13?
What you say?
You think that'll be part of Romans 13?
I would have to go back and look at Romans 13.
Or anywhere. I mean, do you think the actions of Nero as him being a representative, do you think he would have been represented somewhere in the book of Revelation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he would have been a participant, because that's why I said the Roman government, I just said, Paul was getting his authority from the Jews. And where did they get their authority from? They got it from Rome. So Rome played a hand into the Jews trying to kill off the Christians, because Roman history shows, like, it's just like when we was talking about yesterday, how nations, when a nation conquers you, they want you to learn they want you to live by their aspect.
Right.
They want you to live by their society. So I would say that Rome had a hand in the Jews persecuting the church, because the church said, we're going to live by Christ. But Rome didn't to live how they wanted to live.
I got you, but what I'm
That's what I would say.
okay, but I'm asking like in Nero by himself, not just Rome, just Nero. Do you think Nero made Revelation? Nero.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
I do not know. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh yeah. Now you good? I was just wondering. Do you think the man Nero the man would have made Revelation? So I got you. And Brittany, you can come in.
Both make good points.
Thank you, brother Mike. And I think Brittany wanted to come in too. Okay, Demetrius dropped out. He gonna come back in.
Oh, well, looking, man, I found that scripture. So it's in 16:13, it says, "And I saw coming out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, 3 unclean spirits like frogs." So are those all the same, or are they actually 3 separate antichrists?
Now I think these will be 3 different entities.
3 different entities, right?
Yep. I see a dragon. I see a beast.
Yeah, dragon.
And I see a prophet.
Yeah, because I heard like they're trying to emulate the Trinity.
I would take that. I would take that definitely. We know the dragon represents pretty much that dragon right there would actually represents somebody just trying to do personal pleasure. Evil personal pleasure right there. Because that dragon is the same dragon, the same serpent that was in the garden. And in the garden it represented temptation.
Okay.
So that will be whoever that's bringing temptation. Probably somebody that's dealing with the apostasy right there. In the mouth of the beast, that would have to be probably Rome, or that would be a power. And that false prophet would have to be the Antichrist. That's what I get from it.
Yeah, okay.
I knew this was going to be an interesting conversation each time we bring up Revelation. So I already knew you, dude. I got 1, 2, 3 books open. Finna open up book number 4. So, well, each time you talk about the book of Revelation, man, you got to open up all kind of stuff. I'm finna have to go into the attic.
Yeah, because I was the reason I bring it up is because I was talking to somebody earlier this morning about it. And like I said, they tried to say that it was Antiochus.
Yeah, he just won't fit.
And,
he won't fit.
Yeah, and I tried to explain the best I could, and not inviting them to the room. But obviously they're not denied.
Right. But
of course,
what I can say though, my brother, they're using the actions of Antiochus Epiphanes to explain this new person, because to the Jews, Antiochus Epiphanes was the worst of the worst. So they're using the worst of the worst to describe this new person. So that's why it will be.
So they're using him basically using it as an example.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You see how this, and you know how the in Revelation they use the first Exodus scene to explain the second Exodus scene. So.
Okay, got you.
So that's all they doing.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Come on, Britt. Come on now. I'm waiting to hear what you got. Now, hey, Britt, she's like a scribe, my brother. She be having like loads upon loads of information.
I was trying to get this little one to sleep, but I've been listening in to you guys for the most part. I'm not going to add too much. But I wanted to, I guess, see what you think about. Okay, you know how the little horn was wounded, I think, right?
LG. Now the little horn was what now?
I know this is making it hard. Was wounded, right?
Right.
Okay, so could that wounded be a form of being overthrown? Because Nero was overthrown for a second, I believe, after he tried to kill his second wife.
It could. I mean, it could. But we got two different understandings within what we got going on. We got it. That could be it also, and then we got one understanding that this is Israel also. So if we take it from that understanding that it's a person, then I would say 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was gonna ask, what did that verse mean by it being wounded? So that's a good point.
Yeah, I would like to know that too. Like, what would it look like Israel being wounded? What would that reflect?
There you go, Brother Dimitri. There you go. That's your question. That ain't me.
Okay. I would think that with Israel being wounded, it would be them being wounded by the church, because their power came from the Levitical priesthood. Okay? So when Christ came on the scene, okay, like, this is something different. And they didn't want to lose that power. If you go back through the Gospels, you will see that they fought Christ because of the law. And they felt as though that they were losing power because of the law. And I think now, this is just my opinion, because of Rome giving them power to destroy the church, that would give them power in certain sense, in a sense. That will resurrect their power to keep the Christians from growing. So, and that will be my understanding of it. So, I think they were wounded by Christ coming and getting ready to destroy the law.
That's another good point. It kind of reminds me of that scripture. You bruise his heel, he'll stomp your head, something like that.
Okay. I got a question. Since we
bring up some interesting points though.
But and only reason why I say that is because the destruction of Jerusalem is the main focus in Revelation. And that's the only reason why I say that. Because by the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple brings in the everlasting temple. So and that's why I say that. And that's why that's what I understand about that.
That makes sense.
All right, now I got a question. Daniel 9:26. Will that prince be the Antichrist?
The prince? Hold on,
Yes, sir.
The prince of the holy people? Hold on, let me look that up. Because the prince of the holy people.
Now Daniel 9:26. Daniel 9:26.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me go there.
All right.
Let me go there. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm still driving.
Well, no, let me read it, my brother. No, let me read it. You don't got to do that, fam. I'm sitting down at the.
Go ahead.
I bet. I'm saying now. All right. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end thereof shall be with the flood. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined.
So the prince of sorry about that. I would think now the prince of the people is Rome coming to destroy Jerusalem. That's what I think.
Right. So would the prince be the Antichrist?
Give me one. Hold on. I'm sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I got a phone call I gotta take. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you good. Do y'all get what I'm asking? Is the prince, the Antichrist, the prince of the people, shall come and destroy the city and the sanctuary. And we know that the Antichrist is the one that is he the one to make war with the saints?
Yeah.
So if the people of the prince is destroying the city and the sanctuary, then this got to be some of the war with the saints. So would not this prince be the Antichrist?
And then it says he'll put a stop to sacrifice and grain offering.
I think so. He would have to be. They're similar traits.
That's what I'm looking at. So what's happening? If that's the case, what's happening in Daniel 7 and 8, right? What's happening in Daniel 7, 8, all the way down to 14 has to be taking place at Daniel 9:26, don't it?
Can you read it? Or
I can read it if you want. You said 8 to what?
Hold on. This will be the best. Let me rephrase that. Okay. We know that in
All right. Sorry about that, fellas. Sorry about that.
Now, you good, my brother. So in Daniel 7:13, the Son of Man come with the clouds of heaven, right? And he's given the kingdom. So that would have to occur in Daniel 9:27, right? And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So if coming with clouds means it's judgment language, doesn't that mean that had to happen at verse 27? Or when is the little horn, when he's doing his thing, where is that at in Daniel 9? It has to be there.
Right. Yeah, I think it's in there. I would agree that it's in there.
So would he not be he will be the prince then in Daniel 9:26? It said Messiah should be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. So the people that destroyed the sanctuary in the city was the Roman army.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
Say that one more time.
I said the people that destroyed the city and the sanctuary was the Roman army.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah.
So
I think that's what I was saying, that the Roman army came in to destroy Jerusalem.
Right. So that prince right there would be the Antichrist, right?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
yes,
I see what you're saying.
because it will be operating under the same authority.
Okay. But if the Roman army was doing the judgment, then they came to destroy the sanctuary.
Right. So the Roman army would be the people.
Let me ask you something. Are you saying that the sanctuary is the Messianic kingdom?
No, sir.
Okay. So the sanctuary is the Jerusalem temple, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so he came in judgment. So I don't know about the Antichrist. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I don't know about the Antichrist, but I think that the people of the prince is wrong.
Right, I agree with that 100%. So the people is the people is wrong.
Okay.
So the prince got to be the ruler of the people.
You said the people is wrong, right?
Right, the people is the Roman army.
The people of the prince. Okay, all right, okay, cool.
So that prince that's ruling over them has to be the Antichrist, don't it? I bet, because he got to be something in power. The prince got to be something in power to be over the people, and we know the people will be the Roman army. So it has to be someone. And I know right now, Brother Darrell will come in and he will say, "Well, that's Vespasian because hold on, no, he said that's Titus." Because Vespasian would have been the king at the moment of time, and Titus would have been his son, being the leader of the Roman army, but he would have been the prince because his father would have been the king at the time. Now, I see how that would make sense historically. Yeah, I know how that would make sense historically. I know that would make sense historically. But if that's the breakdown of it, then they don't have nothing to do with the Antichrist though, because Titus wasn't the Antichrist. Or was he the Antichrist? Because they sacrificed to him too, though. When they destroyed the temple, they made sacrifices to Titus.
Absolutely, and they killed over 1 million of them, and they totally desolated the area. Yeah, absolutely.
We just dang, Demetrius gone again. So that could be, but so are we saying that Prince right there? See, I don't see how the Prince. All right, because this is the problem that we're gonna run into. Eventually, that Prince gonna have to be the horn. I think. What do y'all think?
I think they're operating all under the same governing authority, under that 4th seat. Just different factions of it, but essentially the same spirit or person historically. Does that make sense, or was it? Sorry.
Yeah, it's.
I think it's an individual. I think the people is the army, and the prince is an individual. But the way that Daniel 9 got it, look at how Daniel 9 got it, right? Daniel 9:26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off. That's the Messiah, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city. So I'm thinking Christ and Antichrist. Am I stretching? Is anybody saying that? Like Christ and Antichrist right there? I think that Messiah, because look, verse 25 right here, right? Look right here, verse 25.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to read now.
Right.
Verse 25.
So, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince. So we got Messiah the Prince right there, and then we got another Prince in 26. So this got to be Messiah. Sorry, they got to be Christ and Antichrist, right?
Yeah.
Now I might be Stretch Armstrong. Y'all know I stretch stuff. So, but I'm seeing.
Hey, Elvis, say that again for me, brother.
Okay, we got in verse 25, we got Messiah the Prince there, right? And Jerusalem shall be built unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks. So that's the Messiah right there. That's Christ. And in verse 26, we got another prince coming, which is the prince of the people. So that's got to be Messiah and anti-Messiah, Christ and Antichrist, right there together. You had Christ come first, and then you got the Antichrist coming.
Let's go back for it. Hear me?
Your phone breaking up.
Yeah, I know.
There you go. You sound good. You want me to read it?
Okay, yeah. Go back to 24 first.
All right.
Go to 24 first.
All right.
Read that.
70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy.
Correct.
All right. So now let's
go to 25.
Yeah. So now he's finna break all that down even more. So verse 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks, and the street shall be built again, and the wall, and even in troublous times. So that Messiah the Prince right there.
So, okay, that's Christ, correct?
I take that as Christ.
Born.
Right, I take that as Christ.
Being born?
Yes,
okay.
That's what I take that as.
Okay, all right.
So now, in verse 26, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. So I think that's Christ being killed for the sins of the people.
Okay, correct.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. So I take that prince right there not being Messiah, but another prince.
Okay, all right.
So if Messiah was a prince, I'm taking that this is a anti-prince or anti-Messiah. Sorry.
So are you? And I just want to, and I'm really just trying to understand though. But are you saying that because Nero was was considered as an antichrist, that he is considered the prince that destroyed the temple? Oh
no. I'm getting that they got the ideology from an antichrist coming in the first place from here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they got that whole the antichrist must come from passages like this.
Okay.
And I think passages like this can kind of help show how they believe the Antichrist will come.
Okay.
So I think here they got him coming as a military power.
Mm-hmm. Right. You think the Antichrist is coming as a military power?
Well, I believe the reason why is because this prince, the people belong to this prince, and they're coming to destroy the city and the sanctuary. So it's got to be a military power that's destroying cities and sanctuaries.
Right. So, I'm just trying to understand because I'm kind of getting kind of lost, to be honest with you. I ain't gonna lie to you. So what you're saying is, at one point, Rome was the Antichrist, but they did the bidding of Christ as being Christ as the prince, doing his bidding. Am I correct?
Well,
kind of what you're saying.
Well, we know this is all all Christ's judgment. But what I'm saying is that the people is the Roman army.
Okay.
And it says people of the prince. So these people belong to the prince.
Okay. I get what you're saying. So you're talking about the people.
Right. The people belong to the prince.
Okay.
So now this is a different prince from the prince that was listed in verse 25. Because you got so you got Messiah the prince, and then you got another prince in verse 26. Because Messiah is cut off in verse 26. So Messiah the Prince is cut off in verse 26, and another Prince is coming.
Right. So the Prince of Peace comes, and essentially for that verse to fit, he would have to rise up around the same time historically as this anti-Messiah for that to fit historically.
That's a good point.
Is that what you're kind of saying?
Yeah, so I'm saying that, so that Prince, I'm thinking that Prince got to be the Antichrist. We dig it? Y'all dig it? Everybody dig it? No? Yes?
The scripture said they will rise up at the same time.
Uh-huh.
And if the scripture is accurate, then that would represent that historically, definitely.
That's all I was trying to say. Like when that they was looking at Daniel and understood that an Antichrist had to come. That's all I'm saying. They were just looking at Daniel and saying, okay, this is an Antichrist figure right here. So when they start talking about the Antichrist, they're looking more at Daniel's prophecy. So I guess, yeah. That makes, because Paul will be speaking of this around the same time period too. That's it, y'all. I wasn't saying nothing too deep or nothing. My bad. I wasn't saying nothing too deep. So
you did lose me at first, though. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's just how I word. It's how I word things, I guess. So, but okay. So now, bet. So we got that straight now. So, the think tank. So now we understand. So regardless, though, we know that this horn had to happen during the Roman Empire. Whatever they're talking about was supposed to happen during the Roman Empire. So we got that straight. So if whatever they're talking about had to happen during the fourth beast, and Revelation actually brings it up, that means that Revelation has to be during the fourth beast also.
Right.
So then there's a reason why Christ was, I don't know why people don't understand that the New Testament was written under the fourth beast. The fourth beast in Daniel 7 verse 7. That fourth beast, the whole entire New Testament was written under that fourth beast. The fourth beast in Daniel 7:7. The whole entire New Testament is written under that fourth beast. So whatever is supposed to happen in that, under that, is going to be found in the New Testament. It's got to be. And let's just do it. Let's do the experiment. During the fourth beast in Daniel 7 and 7, besides the little horn, let's leave the little horn out of it. Besides that, somebody pull something and just see if we can find it in the New Testament. Anything between Daniel 7, starting at verse 9 all the way down. Just pull something and see if we can find a correlation in the New Testament. Dang, it got quiet.
Yeah, I'm just driving. That's all. Give me 1 second. Let me try to find something.
And I can find something too.
And I agree with you. That I agree with you, Elvin. That Daniel 7, everything fits in the New Testament. I think so.
Well, I appreciate that. So now I got, let's see here. My hell, fiery stream issue. First of all, the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days. It says right here. The Ancient of Days sit, the judgment set, and the books were open. The Ancient of Days. Can we find the Ancient of Days in the New Testament?
Yes, that's that's Christ sitting at the right hand of God. And that is, I would say, Revelation.
I would say, now this is just my opinion right here. Now y'all tell me if y'all feel the same. I think the Ancient of Days is Christ.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, bet.
He is coming as God. When I was in you know, and I understand what you were when you talk about the word of the Lord, that's Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think that the Ancient of Days, when I think when it says, give me a second, what verse is that?
Verse 9?
Yeah, verse 13.
Okay.
I was watching the night visions. Behold, one like the Son of Man.
Mm-hmm.
With the cloud of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days.
Uh-huh.
And I think the rendering in the Greek is came as the Ancient of Days. So that is a direct section of John 5:19-20, when Christ said that do nothing but let me go to John 5:19 for me, Elvin.
Yeah, and I was gonna actually I was gonna read 22 before you even said that. So hold on, you said John 19.
Okay.
John 19.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
John 5, right?
John 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Go to John 5. Start at verse, I think, 19. He
Yep.
states that the Son can do nothing of himself but what he sees the Father do.
Right. And I think
the Son is
I'm finna get it right here. And I'm gonna read down to 22 because I believe right now that that's gonna also prove that the Ancient of Days is actually Christ. So verse you said verse number 19?
Yeah, start at verse 19.
Okay, bet.
And see where that goes.
All right. Then answered Jesus and said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise.
Bingo.
For the Father loveth the Son, and showeth him all things that himself doeth. And he will show him greater works than these, that ye may marvel. Verse 21. For the Father raiseth up the dead, and quicketh them, even so the Son quicketh whom he will. So now it's giving Christ the authority. But now, verse 22. For the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son. So I think each time we see somebody with a book open, it's got to be the Son, because all judgment is committed over to him.
Bingo. Yes, sir.
Wow. Yep.
Yes, sir.
That's valid.
100%. Now let me give you let me give y'all an assertion from Josephus, right?
Okay.
Let me give you this is what the Jews believe. Now this is how I use the historical information dealing with this. All right, so this is Josephus when he was trying to give them the breakdown of Hades. All right, this is what he said. Let me see here. Written in the fragment concerning to Hades. All right, let me find it real fast. Now, this is how they looked at the word, how important the word was. So let me find it real fast. Extract the Hades. Hades, where's it at? 974. All right. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm going to read what they actually wrote about the word dealing with Hades. Or the realm of the dead. Y'all know what Hades is. So now it says right here. I'm going to start at section think it's, hold on. The body. Number 6 right here. Section 6. For all men, the just as well as the unjust, shall be brought before God the Word. For to him hath the Father committed all judgment, and he, in order to fulfill the will of his Father, shall come as judge, whom we call Christ. Bingo. So, this is why the Jews went bananas when they asked him, was he the Son of God? And he said, yes, because they understood the Christ was the God, the Word that was going to judge the living and the dead. They understood his deity form. So for everybody to be like, the Jews was monotheistic and Jesus wasn't a God, and what are you guys, you don't know what the Jews believe. That's what you guys believe. But we got ancient information of what the Jews believe, and the Jews believe that Christ, that whoever that Christ that was going to come, he was going to be God, and he was going to judge the living and the dead. So when they made statements, so when we read the New Testament, each time they call him Christ, understand what they're saying. They're saying, we know that you are the God, and we know that you're going to judge everybody. That's what they're saying in the beginning. So when Christ is going around telling them what to do, not the law of Moses, but when Christ was going around telling them what to do, love your neighbor, he really meant that. He really meant it.
Right.
So, and when he said, this generation shall not pass, that is a God talking to you.
Bingo. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that ain't just a regular old, he meant whoever saw it. No. This is a God talking to you. So imagine how important it was when the God said that temple is going to be destroyed. That's a God's judgment. And when they knew that God was saying the temple was going to be destroyed, they asking him, when can we see your magnificence? That's what they pretty much asking him. They're not asking him when we're going to see. In fact, Brother Demetrius, if I can recall correctly, now correct me if I'm wrong, by the time that hit, had they actually been talking about him dying and coming back yet?
When? At what point?
Matthew 24. Had they actually went over him dying and coming back yet? Between Matthew 1 to 23?
I think it's Matthew. I think it's Matthew 16, where Christ said, "I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against." Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I think so. I'm gonna get ready to pull up at home. Just.
Yeah, here you go, right here. You're right here. 21. You're right. From that time forth before Jesus began to show unto his disciples, he must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and be raised again the third day.
Right. Bingo.
So, but they didn't.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, that's 16:21.
Okay, cool.
So, but he never. Okay, so that coming then. Okay. And see, y'all, I'm formulating too, so appreciate this, Brother Demetrius. So that coming that they asked him about, since he already told them that he was going to be killed, that coming that they asked him about has to be Matthew 16, 27, and 28.
Bingo. Yes, sir. It is. Because that is the judgment of the living and the dead.
Right. So that coming that they're looking at is that coming right there. Him coming in his kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now, and we know that it was taught that there's an invisible kingdom. So his kingdom got to be, his coming had to be invisible if his kingdom is invisible. But, but now, so, formulating. Did he tell them that he was going to be killed before the temple was going to be destroyed?
where it says, they will kill this temple and I will raise it up in 3 days.
But he was talking about his body with that one, though, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I think that is the. Wait a minute. Rephrase your question. I think I misunderstood you.
The temple in Jerusalem. Did he tell them that he will be killed before the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed?
I don't think so. I don't know. I would have to research that. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Walking in the house.
Anybody else? Brother Mike? Or I guess Brittany left.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's saying that in verse 21, right?
On which one?
It's Matthew 16:21.
21. Let's see here.
Let's say for him to go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders, chief priests, and scribes, and to be killed.
Yeah, but did he tell them that was going to happen before the temple was destroyed?
I don't think that he referenced that point until Matthew 24.
Okay,
because that's when they were around the temple and the disciples were asking about the temple.
Right, so they couldn't have and what I'm getting with that is they couldn't have correlated his death with the destruction of the temple just yet.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see what you're talking about.
So his coming that they was talking about, they couldn't have been talking about him coming from the dead back into the temple yet, because he haven't even told them that he was going to die before the temple was going to be destroyed. So they're not looking at his death right now. They're just looking at his judgment. So that's why when he died,
that'd be extra scary.
Right, and that's why when he died, they was like, "Oh man, hold on, what?"
Yeah.
Like the temple wasn't even destroyed yet. Hold on, what's going on? And then he had to remind them, "I told you guys this was going to happen."
Yeah.
So in other words, this formulates the question. Like when he was talking about him coming back with his kingdom, they weren't thinking about this happening after he died. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't in chronological order with it. So they probably thinking that he was going to come back with his temple before he even died and left. And maybe that's probably the reason why they asked him in Acts 1, is this going to be the time you restore the kingdom to us? So that means, hold on, Brother Demetrius and Brother Mike. So that means that the disciples kind of formulated the kingdom being restored to Israel before the temple got destroyed. Hello?
Yeah.
What y'all think?
Yeah. I'm with you. I think that.
So that means that that restoration that they was thinking about.
Right.
Okay.
See.
Okay.
I think that they knew that there was going to be a restoration of Jerusalem at some point. Okay? But I don't think that they knew the typological restoration that was going to be done. I'm thinking that their mindset in Acts 1 was a physical restoration like they had at first.
Right, and they didn't. Go ahead.
Because if you go back to John 16, Christ told them, "If I do not go away, the Comforter cannot come. He will show you to all truth." You see what I'm saying? So by them receiving the Holy Spirit in Acts 2, showing them until AD 70, showing them that there was a spiritual redemption instead of that physical redemption that they already had in Jerusalem.
Yeah, and it seemed like to me that they was already breaking away from the construct of the temple because they put their restoration outside of the temple. They didn't even really bring the restoration up dealing with the temple.
They didn't because of Christ's teaching.
Right, so they didn't stepped away from the understanding of what Moses was bringing. They were still there, but they was already transitioning over.
Yeah, and I think if you go back to, I think it's John 3, I think you had brought it up Wednesday about where the woman of Samaria was at the well.
Mm-hmm.
Christ told her, the time is that the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth.
And you know what I'm looking at now also, brother?
Okay.
I'm looking at that they took Matthew, they couldn't have took Matthew 24 literal. They couldn't have. Because when Christ is getting ready to leave up, this is after he done gave them all of these prophecies about the Antichrist coming, the wars and the rumors of wars, and the beginning of sorrows, and the temple being destroyed, and the tribulation, and the abomination of the desolation. They skipped all of those prophecies and said, "Hey, this is gonna be the time when you restore the kingdom." So it seems like that either they was looking at the words and not understanding it, they was hearing it or not understanding it, they didn't take it serious, or they didn't take it literal. It had to be one of them for them to ask, was the restoration going to happen then while the temple was still on the ground standing? Matthew 24, they had to take some of that stuff and say, yeah, it's not literal. They had to.
That's a good point.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say that's a good point. You guys are like, I'm glad I don't get high no more. Yeah, send me into a different planet.
You know, and as we always say, that the physical aspect brings a spiritual reality.
Right.
So I think that by him speaking to them in Matthew 24 about the things that were going to happen, I think they knew that the physical aspect that they had to go through, even with the troubling of times, the tribulation, they knew that there was going to be a point in their time that they were going to suffer. Just like, I think it's Matthew chapter 10, where Christ told them that when they persecute you in this city, flee to the next. So they knew that there was going to be a time of trouble, physically. But spiritually, they knew at the end there was something far greater than what they were going to go through. So I agree to the point of they didn't think of it as a physical aspect, but what I would say is that a physical aspect shows a spiritual reality.
But what I'm saying is, it seemed like they skipped all of that. It seemed like they skipped all of it. They skipped all of the stuff and said,
Yeah. So when you was talking about the redemption, correct?
Right, the restoration, right.
Okay.
So it seems like they skipped all of. So why would they skip all of the prophecies then and say this is going to be the time, unless they thought judgment was going to happen real time soon to them?
Because I think that they were anticipating from the time of John, they were anticipating the restoration of Israel. Because you got to think about it. Israel was never captive before the Assyrian, after Egypt, until the Assyrian army. Okay? So, they had a king. And I think it's, let's see. Is it 1 Samuel 8 where they rejected God? And they were free at that point. And they said, and I think it's like I said, 1 Samuel 8, they said, give us a king like all the other nations. And God said they haven't rejected you, they rejected me. They were under the Father at that point. So by them getting another king, they lost the freedom of that natural king that this physical king gave them, because God told I think it was Solomon, sorry about that, that when you give them this king is going to treat them much harshly than what I did. So they were looking for that redemption to where we have now our king is a king that is unspeakable. So that would be my take. So I think that's what the apostles were looking for when he talks about the redemption of Israel. To your point, Elvin, a spiritual king.
Yeah, I just think they didn't look at all the prophecies as literal.
Right. I agree.
Because even in verse 3 right here, right? And I'm just showing why I'm saying here. Because in verse 3 it says, this is Acts 1 and 3. To whom also he showed himself alive after his passion to many infallible proofs, being seen of them 40 days, and speaking of things pertaining to the kingdom of God. So he was teaching them things pertaining to the kingdom of God. And then he told them how John truly baptized with water, but you shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days hence. When they therefore would come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? So they are asking him right there, is Daniel... Hold on, let me see here. What part of Daniel is that? When the saints get the kingdom?
Daniel 7?
Yeah, Daniel 7 and 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. So they asking him, is this going to be the time when Daniel 7 and 27 is going to be fulfilled? During that time period. So that happens after the judgment is set and the books were opened and all that other stuff. So when they are looking at that, they couldn't have been looking at it like as a literal aspect, because they know literally that stuff didn't happen yet. So why would they ask, is this the fulfillment of Daniel 7:27 when they ain't literally see some of the stuff that they were supposed to see? Like they didn't see what happened. I would say they didn't see what happened in Daniel 9 yet. Daniel 9 haven't even been fulfilled at that time yet.
Right, because and this is just me, okay? I think that because the Messiah came, I think that, okay, the Messiah is here, so, okay, boom, it's time for us to get the kingdom back.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that was the end of the story. So, you know, and I think that they knew because of the Jewish system, the Mosaic covenant, that they knew the things that were written in there, that the things had to happen.
It seemed like they didn't care.
But they didn't. You're right. Yeah, and that's true. But I think at that point they were more excited than anything. Like, okay, yeah, the kingdom is about to be restored. But Christ told them that, you know, you should not know the times.
Right. He had to correct them.
Yeah, he had to correct them. So, and he told them, truly John baptized you with water, but I baptize you with the Holy Spirit. So
Right. And he's telling you like all them other prophecies I told you had to happen, gotta happen, guys.
Exactly. Correct.
So, but I'm just what I do here. I like doing the think tank to see how the Jews of that time thought.
Right.
So the Jews of that time, dealing with the disciples, they had to think, okay, things don't have to happen exactly like the prophets say. But then you got Christ coming around saying, no, they do gotta happen just like the prophet said. But in the Jew mindset, it showed how they viewed their own literature. So they didn't view their own literature as all of this stuff had to happen exactly like it says. But this is what I'm getting from their mindset. But Christ saying, no, these things gotta happen. So they wanted to jump the gun. The only way they could jump the gun, they had to overlook a whole lot more prophecies. But they was willing to overlook those prophecies because they thought that they was at the end. And Christ was like, no, guys, you can't overlook these prophecies. The Holy Spirit will come and teach you. And then you will start understanding more. So then they realize, okay, these prophecies actually got to happen like they say they did. So to me, it shows that at this point right here, we can see that maybe the Jews themselves didn't look at all of the Torah and Tanakh as 100% accurate. Well, we know that anyway because they didn't even believe on the Messiah. Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you, brother.
Okay, my bad. But that's what I get from it, Brother Demetrius. I like think tanks. I like going into the mind of the Jews to understand how they was thinking when they was on the scene. And why would they say this at this point in time? Or why would the author write this at this point in time? And what can I pull from it? So right now, this shows me it's just, I don't want to say a lack of faith per se, but I see that here at this point in time, they needed more than just the teaching of Christ. They needed a comforter to help them understand the teaching of Christ.
Bingo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm with you.
And then we can reflect that upon ourselves today. Like, this is why so many people are being tripped up with these words because they haven't got that comfort yet in the scriptures. They ain't found that comforter yet. The comforter ain't been able to, and I don't want to act like that I'm the Holy Spirit expert, but I can say that they haven't put it on enough yet to understand what's going on. Cause they ain't jumping prophecies. They leaving prophecies out.
Yeah.
So they're doing the opposite. The disciples wanted to skip forward. They wanted to say, forget it all, and I don't even know what you call it. What do you call it?
Hey, man, I don't know. They was doing something that, they ain't had no business doing.
But the people today, if the disciples wanted to skip forward, the people today is trying to skip forward even more or ignore. They want to ignore. That's it. They want to ignore.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Ignore.
They ignore the prophecy. And it's just...
I'm going to start using that word, Brother Demetrius. That's why I'm going to start explaining it from now on. You want to ignore the prophecy. I got you. Okay, so you want to ignore that this says generation. You want to ignore that the kingdom is within.
Right.
I got you.
Exactly.
You want to ignore that it was at hand.
Yeah. And when you show it to them, hey, oh my goodness, that takes precedent.
Well, that's it, my brother. I think we didn't had a great think tank. I think Boss left.
Boss left? Boss still? Oh, okay. Well, he's still here. So.
I think Boss, you sleep?
I was.
Yeah, I think we're finna end it, brother Demetrius, man. Thank you, brother. I get to build so much with you and understand more and more and more and more. So I appreciate it.
Hey, same here, brother. Same here. What's up, son?
So and I enjoy it, and hopefully we can keep this up, man. But I'm like brother Demetrius, I'm like brother Boss. I've been at work all day. It's time to relax.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock. I didn't even know it was 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock, bro.
Yeah, man. So
When you get it talking about it, time goes by.
man, brother, I swear I thought it was like 11:30.